All right, Hot Wobble here. We meet again, right? Tonight, I'm going to show you one of my favorite techniques, right? Basically, I use this to make glitchy stuff or to trick the computer, not trick, but set up the computer to do some surprising things that you might not expect, and just get it to. It's like you set it up more as like this little reactor where cool stuff can happen rather than explicitly telling it all the time what to do. And you're going to do that by basically giving it rules to follow. In this case, we're going to do it through follow actions, right? So what is a follow action? Well, it's something that you can set up specific to a clip, right? Which is going to tell it after you play this clip, then what? Normally, it's either going to do one of two things, like the standard things people do in Ableton. I feel like they play like one shots, so the clip plays once and then it ends, or it loops, right? That's the standard stuff. With a follow action, it's going to do this. This is what we're making. See how it's jumping around? And we can crank this up to all kinds of stuff. Watch. Now it's really jumping around. Now we're going to slow it down, right? Right? You could do this with anything. You could do it with audio. You could do it with MIDI clips. You could do it with drums. You could do it with texture. I mean, there's like a zillion. It's endless. I did like a whole piano piece just using like single notes of piano chords, and it would move around and stuff and kind of swirl around. It was cool. So anyway, it's a powerful technique. You can do a lot of stuff. People are gonna be like, I feel like it's kind of underrated. Like you show this to other producer people, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Right? It's actually really simple to set up. So in this case, like I said, I'm using it to chop together a bunch of drum beats. You get like a cool glitchy thing that you can then build upon. So this is something I use. So here's we're gonna break it down. Here's the steps, right? So first, and I already did this. I set this up. You're gonna go and get you got to get some drum grooves you like. You could make them. You could program them. I just grabbed a couple off of Splice, right? Because Splice is cool and there's lots of stuff and it's awesome, right? So then I'm assuming you know how to do this. So then you need to warp all of your clips to tempo of the project, right? So in other words, when I play, let me turn this off, right? When I play a clip, it lines up with my metronome. All right, not rocket surgery. So these are all good. These are all ready to go, okay? So once you have that, right, you need to make so that after they're warped, you need to make sure they're all set to loop, right? Unless you don't want that. But for the project, set them to loop, all right? And then here's a very important thing. You need to come into the launch menu. You get to it by clicking the L, right? And you need to set all of them to legato. Or you don't have to, but if you want it to do this evenly, it has to. So here's what happens if you don't set it to legato, right? If I turn my follow action up and hit go, this is kind of cool. It's almost like a drum and bass kind of, or the beginnings of drum and bass kind of thing. But what it's doing is after the initial after the initial clip plays and it goes to the follow action to play the next clip, it's starting from the beginning of the clip. So if you had 30 clips in here, it would just start from the beginning of all of them. Whereas if you turn on legato, right, what it's going to do is basically pick up in time where it left off. So if you set it to change clips every beat, right, it's going to play the first beat of the first clip and then say it comes down here, right? It's not going to start from the beginning. It's going to start from the second beat of that clip, right? So let's see if I can get you a little demo. This should be going every beat. Yeah, here we go. Alright, if we crank this up to 16th notes, now it's jumping around every 16th note, right? But you see it's scrolling continuously. It's not starting from the beginning all the time, which is what we want, right? So that's what the legato thing does. For this, I usually just set them all to legato, but you could play around with like making some clips not legato and some, or you could duplicate these. Like maybe I'll go hog wild at the end, right? Just stick to the plan here. So anyway, next step, right? Once you have your clips and everything's set to legato, you're gonna come in the follow action menu. Let me explain this. There's 3 boxes at the top that basically tell it how often does your follow action occur, right? If it's a 1 at the box all the way to the right, that means it's going to change every 16th note. 1 is 1/16th note. 2 is 2/16th notes, or 8th notes, right? 3 is 3, right? And then if we go to 4, it goes to 0. Because now we have 4/16th notes, that's the whole beat. So this box is 16th notes. This box is whole beats, like quarter notes. And then if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, it changes again on the. It only goes to 3, right? Because then this box is going to be whole measures, right? So it's going to change actions every measure now, right? So anyway, that's just kind of how this works. Not super intuitive, so you just got to know, right? Now the good stuff, right? The fun part. If we come down here, we have 2 drop-down menus where we can define 2 different follow actions, right? And then if we come down here, these boxes represent a probability of, what are the chances of that action happening. And if you forget all this, it's all in the help menu here. You just mouse over. All right, it's a shift question mark. Chance A and chance B controls set the likelihood of the 2 follow actions occurring. A setting of 0 means that the follow action will never occur, right? So check this out. I often will just set 1, but you can set 2 just to make it interesting, right? So screw it. Let's set 2, right? Let's say for the first follow action, we're gonna give it. We're gonna say play another clip, right? So it's not gonna play the same one again. It's gonna play anything else, right? And let's give this a probability of, if this is like maximum chance, this is never going to happen at 0. Let's just put it somewhere, like a little above halfway. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, if you will, right? So now, what's our second follow action going to be? Maybe we'll make this one play it again, right? Just to see what that gets us, right? And we could set that somewhere in the middle, right? Okay, go. That's interesting. Maybe I change this one to any, right? Why not? This is all over the place, right? So this is what it's gonna spit out. If this is too busy for you, right? You could slow it down by raising the time. So this is gonna be 8th notes. Oh wait, no, you gotta highlight all of them and make sure it's the same. See how it started out right now? That means some of them are different. So any, let's change this to 8th notes. So that's the basic technique, right? Now, I was talking about going hog wild, right? You can string together as many clips as you want, as long as let me make a bunch of new stuff, right? In my scene here. Yeah, you could string as many of these guys as you want together. As long as they're touching, it'll treat it as one block, right? So let's just duplicate these. Just for the heck of it. Now let's mess with them. Let's take the first one. Let's reverse all these, right? So occasionally we're gonna get a reverse sample. I'm gonna change them different colors so I know what's what. And then let's take this. Let's make another block, another color. All right, and now let's take these. Let's transpose them. Let's go all up an octave. Shit. No, what do I want? Yeah, that one. So let's take these guys all up an octave, right? These are high. Then we can take these, make another group. Take these. These are gonna go down an octave, right? Okay. And let's put them in a different warping mode, just so they have a different texture to them, right? I wonder how these sound. The beats. Cool, I like it. Okay, so what else can we do? This is kind of fun. Let's just shit. Why not? Oh, here's another good one. So let's take these. We're gonna do a different color again. But for these, let's put them back at the normal. I did it the long way. Okay, yeah. So let's put it back at the normal pitch, right? And then, what we're gonna do is we're gonna double the tempo. So it'll occasionally cut into like some double time beats, right? I think you have to do these one. Yeah, you have to do these one by one. So you're gonna come in here and hit this. Now it's half as long, so this is double time, right? And it's sometimes cool that when you have like the regular time one to splice in some doubled up stuff. Because again, I'm all about the glitchy vibes, right? So this is kind of crazy, but in the context of everything, it's going to be pretty cool, right? So then again, we can do the opposite, right? Let's take these, and we're gonna. Okay, now we're gonna make these twice as long. So these are super slow and just like smoked out. Oh yeah, that's great. Can I even lean into that more? Maybe if we change the warping mode, sometimes you can get some. That's kind of what we have over here, no? Yeah, I don't want to do that. So repitching isn't great. I liked all that aliasing. Let's see. I'm making this up as I go. Maybe if I play with the grain size and stuff. I'm gonna make another batch and go even slower. Just cause. Why not? We're here. Double it up, not doubling it up, but you're making it twice as long. I don't know what that would be. Yeah, and then we're gonna put this on. Yeah, I guess texture's good. Yeah, this is my shit. Just super weird, stretchy. Let me get rid of these inputs. All right. So now that we have all these different variations, all you do is you just delete the empty rows between them. So now they all touch. And now we're gonna have this big block that's all gonna play. Let me get rid of this too, so you can see. Alright, some of these aren't going, so let's just make sure they're all set the same. Alright, cool. So now we can start playing around. Just see what we want to do. Like, so let's say we have one follow action. It's a high probability of it playing any other clip. And then we'll make a kind of middle probability that we're going to go back to your first one. Just because. Alright. So that's... And then let's take this and make it 16 notes. See how it sounds. Pretty interesting. Okay. Cool. So, and then, like I said, you can use this as a point of departure. You could even say, hey, let's record this into the timeline, right? And then it's gonna, all this glitchy stuff it's spitting out, it's gonna give you all these cuts. Right in Ableton. So I do this all the time. I'll take this, and then now I have all these little, you know how long it would take to cut all this by hand? It's way easier just to have the computer do it, right? And then you could take all this and like, let's change the frequency. And again, this is just running so that we could record this into the timeline here. Then you could edit and put this to whatever you like. You know, something cool happened, you just grab it. Yeah, so I think you probably are getting the idea with what happens. Then if you really want to get creative, you can... Do I have a plugin on? I guess I do, yeah. That sounds cooler without it. I don't know why I had that there. Whatever. Yeah. All right. Cool. Sweet. So then, what else? What else makes sense to do with this guy? Oh, I mean, you could take some of these clips, like you could take some of them and turn legato off. This is what I was talking about before. So you have like just like some different things happening now. Just because I think the point and a lot of the fun of doing this is getting the computer to surprise you, right? So be like, oh, I would never have thought of that, right? Like this, yeah, like this is cool. Having some of these get kind of stuck because of the not legato button. This is neat. So then I'm gonna hit record again. Let's just grab this. Ah, beautiful. And let me get this in its own region. So anyway, this is it. I'm just screwing around at this point. I'll probably do something later. But I encourage you to. Oh, I should turn. Makes so much noise. I would encourage you to use this technique. Play around with it. You can see I'm already starting to play around. I'm like neglecting the fact I'm trying to show you guys how to do something. But yeah. So just play around with it. I would love to see what you do with it. Or if somebody wants to ask me a question about how to do something else in the comments, that's cool. If you made something with this and you want to show me, just send it to me. I love it when I get stuff like that. So there you have it. Follow actions. Ableton. Glitching your shit out. Again, I am Hot Wobble. I thank you for listening and checking out this thing. If you have made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. But I know you know how to do that. I feel redundant saying it, but they say you're supposed to do that on the YouTube. So there you go. Enjoy.